So
Did you watch the game yesterday?
maybe like 3 pitches. I did
Because it
not.
went so quickly, that's all you caught?
Yeah, exactly. I was out and it was over in 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? So didn't have a whole lot of chance to watch that. But did you guys catch any of the first game? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I had it on. I kind of pulled a Ryan where I had a picture-in-picture going. I put the Premier League game on with the Brewers going on at the same time. And yeah, the pace of a baseball game was pretty good. Now it's spring training, so I'm sure that's playing into it a little bit as well. So I'm not going to go nuts about it, but it was good to see. Like, keep these games moving. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, I think early on, probably what we're seeing is a lot of guys aren't even taking close to their full allotment of time. You'll see a lot of pitches being delivered with 5, 6, 7 seconds coming still on the clock. And so they're not taking it down to the very limit. I think probably as guys get more comfortable with this, right now they're trying to like really go fast paced. They probably will settle in and start bleeding the clock a little bit more. And it'll be more common to see it get down to, 2 or 3 seconds before a guy starts his delivery. But it's pretty wild to watch. The clock just goes away the second that a pitcher like begins his motion. And so it comes to a very abrupt halt. I always find myself when I was sitting there watching it, like surprised kind of every time that they were already pulling the pitch clock, even though the pitcher had like just kind of started moving in that way. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Now, will the pitcher see the clock? Like, was it that one that was right behind home plate?
Yeah.
Is that what that's going to be the setup for the season?
Yeah, so there was a whole thing yesterday about how MLB is saying we don't want the actual clock to be visible from the center field camera angle. And that seems stupid to me. I think it should be visible. Like,
that's dumb.
Just have it be there, because there's so much online griping right now about, oh, this pitch clock thing is so stupid. And the Red Sox, the ending, I don't know if you saw the ending of the Red Sox Braves game yesterday. The fact that it ended on a, what was it?
Automatic strike.
Yeah,
on an automatic strike. Yeah.
Yeah, on an automatic strike, because the batter wasn't ready to receive the pitch quick enough. Like, that's going to cause all kinds of bitching and moaning, and you're going to hear this stuff. But I think that there's sort of a general reluctance to like accept anything that Manfred does at this point, which like he's kind of earned that, right? Like, he's earned not being given the benefit of the doubt. But I think once people see that this has been like tested out and really the bugs and the kinks have been worked out in the minor leagues, people are going to start to get more accepting of this and just understand that it really rarely is going to be an issue. And when it is, you point to the players. The players all know the rule. They know that they have this amount of time to be in the position they're supposed to be in, whether or not they're a batter or a pitcher. And so if they screw up, that's on them. Like, we don't need to get all precious about like, well, a game shouldn't end on a call like this and da 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 da. First off, it won't. It won't very often. Like, it will. It's gonna happen. But also, like, games end on capricious, stupid calls all the time. Whether it's a ball or strike call, or we've had balk calls end games. We've had all kinds of weirdness called to end games, and so it's fine. It's going to be okay. The overall result of this is going to be that games move along much quicker. And like, it really is worth noting too, it's not just that game was 2 hours and 21 minutes or whatever it was yesterday. It's also the fact that it was a 7-4 game.
Yeah. There was offense, and it was that quick.
Right.
Exactly.
This was offense, and it clipped along that fast. So,
which again, keep in mind, they weren't like making pitching changes and really playing the game. So those are the elements we haven't seen yet, and how that's gonna basically add some more of that time onto it. But I mean, for the most part, let's see them screw up and end games weird in spring training, so everybody does it once, sees that it's dumb, and they can avoid it when the season starts. And then hopefully, it'll be kind of an invisible thing that's going on.
Did you guys see Maverick Phillips on Twitter? Did you see his post about this?
I did not. No.
Yeah, I retweeted it. He basically says, look, I was down in the minor leagues for a month last year, and I saw this play out. It isn't a big deal. People adjust. Right now, the big leaguers who haven't dealt with this are all adjusting to it. We will adjust. It's going to be fine. It moves things along. Everybody just take a breath and relax. So seeing that was good, and I think hopefully will settle people's nerves about this thing, because I know that Red Sox Braves ending has tongues wagging everywhere, and it's an outlier. It is not going to happen very often.
The younger players who have played with the pitch clock are probably not going to notice. It's going to be the older players who haven't had to deal with it before, that have been in the major leagues for a while, that complain about everything anyways. Like everything's an affront to the way that they played baseball and it's all being changed. It's like, shut up. You're like every other old player ever in the history of baseball complaining about any kind of progress in the game. So, like I said, there's a pretty good population of players in the major leagues who probably aren't going to notice it.
Yeah, and there was a player who mentioned that this was faster than what they were used to, because they had played under an earlier version of the rules when they were in the minors, and then they'd since moved on to the majors. And so this was like, they felt rushed yesterday. What was that, Steve? That was in a chat between us. Somebody posted that in there. Was it Google?
Yeah, it was online. I forget who it was.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, yes, there have been various incarnations of the pitch clock. This one is the stricter one, and really is it's a little bit tighter in terms of time, and it's also being more strictly enforced. So yes, there are some players who have had a pitch clock and now are seeing like a more strictly enforced one, and that's also going to be a bit of a culture shock for them. But again, they'll get used to it. These are the rules for everybody, and it is going to be like strictly enforced. Umpires are going to be expected to enforce this. I saw some people saying, well, umpires are going to be like capricious about this, and some will enforce it and some won't, and that's not going to be the case. The expectation is going to be that this is strictly enforced. So,
I'm glad the first game that ended on one of these weird calls was because of a batter, because we assign so much of this to pitchers anyways. So this is at least is kind of a Ryan Braun rule to keep things moving on that side as well.
The Dustin Pedroia rule, I've heard it referred to, because
Nomar Garciaparra,
or
whoever else. Yeah.
The mid to late 2000s there was quite the era of adjusting gloves and doing a little dance and all that kind of stuff before they get back in the box. So it's like, just get in the box, swing the damn bat.
Speaking of old man complaints.